Hey everybody, Rosemary here, and welcome to part 24 of my House in Fata Morgana Let's Play. A lot of revelations in the last episode. Jacobo, his connection with Morgana from when they were young, and it was quite the eye-opener. And with that, he finally is on board with trying to save Morgana, but unfortunately, we seem to have arrived too late. At least her physical self has passed on, but as we know, the souls maintain sentience for a while, so hopefully we can still try and save Morgana's soul and also save the souls of Jacobo, Mel, and Yukimasa. So I imagine we're at the end game now. People told me we're close to the end, so we're going to try and wrap it up all in this episode. I can't wait to see how it ends. Hopefully we can get a good ending for everybody. So without further ado, let's get back into it and let's see how this story ends. He places a hand on the large door, then takes a step forward. The door lets out a heavy groan, and moonlight slips through the widening crack. It's all over now. I did it. I changed the past. Oh, well, okay. Oh no, it looked good for like a split second, and now everything looks so much worse. What? What the hell? What I see beyond the door is not the nighttime courtyard. The sun hangs high in the sky, shining down on the blood-soaked grass. Ugh, why? What's going on? That's when I notice. The weight of Morgana's body is gone from my arms. And then... What's happening? What's happening? Out in the courtyard. Mel? Nellie? I see a flaxen-haired girl vomit blood and fall to the ground. Oh no, a young man kneels over her and takes his own life. No! There are dead and dying townsfolk all around the nun. The swordsman is skewered as he scrambles to reach her, and at the door just to my back. Jacobo! The Lord lies unmoving, slumped against the wooden frame in a pool of blood. How could this be? We were all... just talking, not a minute ago. How the hell did we go from that to this? Why? Why, damn it? I changed the past, did I not? I steered them away from this outcome. I changed. Oh, that's what this is? As much as I don't want to believe it, it makes sense. The sense something wasn't quite right I've been feeling ever since I got here. The darkness that swelled up when I touched the necklace. I was never in the past at all. This isn't the real world. It's the realm of the dead. The same domain in which the cursed mansion resides. Which is why when I arrived here, something felt off. Because death filled the air. Somewhere deep down, I could sense the similarity between here and the mansion. That gathering place of departed souls. It was never possible for me to travel back in time. To exist and interact with the real past. I was able to summon the darkness because this isn't the real world. Merely a reconstruction, a projection of their souls' memories. It was all set in stone long ago. None of the time I spent with any of them was real. Every emotional moment I thought I shared with them was all an illusion. This feels like I've got myself into a bad end, but I'm pretty sure this is the way it's supposed to be. None of my conversations, none of the smiles I managed to get out of them were real. I was never there. I was never present in the past with them. I'm currently sometime after all that. Sometime beyond the era Morgana lived, beyond the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries. What I spoke of as their next lives was actually their past lives. All three tragedies are history. Immutable, irreversible history. There's nothing to change anymore. What, then, did I fight so hard to achieve? What did I accomplish by warning them of their next lives, by convincing them to endeavor to take different paths? Nothing? Was it all for nothing? I go limp at the sight of it all, dropping to my knees and sending ripples through the sea of blood. Morgana, the girl who called me an angel and asked me to deliver her unto her father, is still chained up inside the tower. What did I accomplish? What purpose did anything I do serve? Was it all just a big damn waste of time? But my cries go unanswered, simply fading into the dead air. Giselle, who kept me going for so much of this ordeal, is still silent. No, I did accomplish something. It wasn't a waste of time. Everything I did, it wasn't for nothing. I may not have changed the past. and I may not have stopped their tragedies, but I achieved something. I uncovered their stories. I learned the truth of everyone's involvement. You can't take that away from me. I know you're out there, Morgana. I know you've been watching this whole time. You know the truth now. I accomplished that much. That has to change how you see them, at least a little. If the present Morgana had a change of heart, decides to let go of her hatred, then that should cause the cursed mansion to disappear, set their souls free. I'll take that leap of faith, that what I've done is enough, and make my way back, believing there's future for them beyond their tragedies. I'm coming back, Morgana. I'm returning to that house, to that world of blackness seething with hatred, to my present. I'm going to try this once more, an honest attempt to really see you, to face you, Morgana. I'll be there as soon as I can. Kneeling in a puddle of blood, I turn my gaze toward the heavens. The searing sunlight is slowly eroded by darkness, and my body, mind, and soul follow soon after. The bloody corpse-riddled courtyard dissolves, and I find myself once more in an utterly lightless void. I clench my teeth as hard as I can manage, squeeze my eyes as tight as I can, because that's the only way I can keep the screams back, the tears from spilling down my cheeks. Michel. Open your eyes, Michel. Is this Morgana or is this Giselle? Come to me. White hair girl, aka Morgana. With a sword? What? This feels like... Okay. I feel like I'm being knighted right now. We meet at last. What? Why is the white-haired girl here? Never mind that. Where am I? I was trying to get back to the mansion. How did I end up here? And she's got the clip, the butterfly brooch, like Morgana, because she's the two sides, right? She's the other side. I guess the side with hope, you know? Do you know who I am? Of course I do. How could I not know who you are? Except she doesn't quite have white hair. She's kind of, it looks kind of like black. I don't know, like, is she... I don't know if it's just like the shading or whatever, but I'm just like, maybe she's sort of turning back into Morgana a little bit more, like she has kind of like the darker hair. Splendid. But what are you doing here? Why is there a sword in your hands? And why can I not speak? I was able to return to this gathering place of souls thanks to your efforts. Your uncovering of the truth of those events that transpired so many years ago allowed me to remember everything I'd forgotten, to remember who I am. Remember who you are? You mean that you're part of Morgana? My apologies. Bringing your soul here without any preparation has left you in a bit of a nebulous state. But my heart told me I had to do this now. Though you have no voice, I can feel your presence quite clearly. Oh, Michel, namesake of the great Archangel Michael and man of tremendous virtue, I have brought you here to ask for your assistance. I pray you will be able to help me. My request for you is simple. Take this blade, and with it, extinguish my soul. What are you... Extinguish your soul? I realize it's cruel for me to ask this of you, and for that I deeply apologize. But I want it to be you who sends me off. This almost feels like a trap. I feel like I'm gonna have a choice to either do it or not. Maybe I should save just in case. I'm always dubious of it. Could you grant this girl her selfish request? That's not why I sought the truth. Not because I wanted to see anyone extinguished, but because I wanted to set everyone free from the mansion's cursed bonds. Because I wanted to put an end to this cycle of pain and suffering. Because I wanted to save every last person caught in this tragic quagmire. That includes you. And you're asking me to eradicate your soul? I must be destroyed. You can't tell me that after everything you've seen, you haven't realized I have no place in their lives. While it's true Morgana wished for misfortune to befall them, if I hadn't been there, none of their tragedies would have taken place. If I hadn't been there, the flaxen-haired girl would have been able to let go of her yearning for her brother. If I hadn't been there, the shipwrecked merchant's lover would not have lost her place as his tether. If I hadn't been there, the ambitious businessman would not have been betrayed by his close friend. Why are you acting like this is all your fault? Are you trying to say everyone would be better off without you? I was not a victim in the tragedies. I am culpable for them. Culpable? Like hell you were. I saw everything from start to finish. You didn't intend for anything bad to befall anyone. You always acted out of the good of your heart. And you're trying to tell me that makes you culpable? What do you say we answer one last lingering question, Michel? The question of what I am. The explanation might be a bit lengthy, but I'd like to share it with you before I depart. I was, as you ascertained, created by Morgana's mind as it broke down in that tower. I was born to be a receptacle for her pain, to ease her suffering. But there's more to the story than that, Michel. Upon her death, Morgana's soul was afflicted with great pain resulting from the hatred and resentment she bore. The fact that she viewed herself as a saint only served to amplify that agony. Her identity as a saint gave her purpose in life, while simultaneously constraining her. A saint must put herself second to all others. She must be caring, generous, forgiving, and she must not bear any ill will for anyone. So the fact that she felt hatred and wanted to curse people probably, like, messed her up. She's like, I can't feel this way. I'm a saint. Saints aren't supposed to feel hate. That was not how she felt deep down, though. She was not a saint out of the goodness of her heart. She wanted to hate them, but her identity would not allow her. Those two conflicting aspects of herself tore Morgana apart. She was unable to withstand it. So she took all her saintly characteristics and gave them to me, caring for others, putting herself second, being forgiving, and then she severed that part of her soul. So that's why you always seemed so abnormally pure-hearted. I was no longer a part of Morgana, but something entirely separate. However, I wasn't me yet either. When you came to the mansion and resurrected Morgana, you resurrected me as well. But I had no self at first. I was, I suppose, not much different than the particles of dust floating around the mansion. But eventually that dust gained a sense of self, taking form as a human soul, and descended into the realm of man and the fate which governs it. What do you think the first thing a new soul wishes for when it is born, Michel? To live. I wished for a continued existence in this world, in a world where I was never meant to exist. I refuse to accept that there's anything wrong with wanting to live. I was supposed to remain with Morgana as a part of her. I was never meant to be a soul of my own. To become one was to turn against the laws of the universe. I wished to live, and Morgana wished to curse the three men's souls, though we sought after completely separate things, because we were once two parts of a whole. Each of our wishes were shaped by the others. In order for an incomplete soul like mine to survive, it needs something to bind itself to the world, something strong enough to prevent the universe from correcting the anomaly. And so the wish of that anomaly gave birth to yet another anomaly, a house that sat outside the currents of time, one that could descend into the mortal realm at various times and places. And it was that house that served as a tether for my soul. You mean it wasn't Morgana's power that created the mansion, but your own wish? Why did it have to be that house that bound me to the world? Because that was where she lingered, the girl from which I was formed, which meant my wish had the consequence of granting Morgana's wish with it. The house, having attained perpetuity, served as a place for those reconstructed by Morgana's curse to return to. Furthermore, my connection with her had another consequence. I was the one most affected by her wish. As much as I may have wanted to do good, for them to be happy, my fate was dictated by her wish. In that position, my merely showing affection for anyone was damnable. Falling in love was an act of villainy. My very presence malevolent. Don't say that. I was the true witch, the true demon child. Stop talking, please. It should never have been possible for me to have a life at all. So she's saying, like, by her being in the world, she kind of caused all of this to happen, so the only way to, like, get this to stop is to kill her. Because she wasn't supposed to exist in the first place. The universe must be returned to its proper state, Michel. Don't talk about yourself like that. I must be erased, and Morgana's soul restored to its original form. But why? I do not belong here. I never belonged here. What is so wrong with wanting to live? The defect must be repaired. You're not a defect. Damn it. Why couldn't I be able to get a word in now, at least? The restoration will not be instantaneous. It took many, many years for me to be formed, and it will take as long, if not longer, for the process to be reversed. But her soul will eventually return to its proper state. And perhaps, when her soul is restored, Morgana won't be a human. Perhaps she will be a butterfly resting upon the lip of a flower. Perhaps she will be that flower. Perhaps she will be the breeze in which the flower sways. But whatever form she takes, it will be her, whole and complete. With me gone, no more tragedy should take place. So please take this sword and extinguish me. Put an end to the cycle of misery. I want you to be the one who does it. Please. Alright, do I get a choice here? Can I choose to not kill her? Kill me. Do I? I can't. Ooh, what happens? Could I have, if I had just, like, left it, if I had just, like, not said anything, would Michel have done it? You're asking too much of me. I feel like, I don't know if that was the right choice. Yes, I want to save Morgana's soul, but do you really have to die for that to happen? Is there not some other way? Won't you do this for me? I cannot. I could never take that sword. I know it's unfair of me to ask this of you, but I want it to be you, as selfish a request as it may be. I want the curtain drawn on this Urzet's life by the man I admired so deeply. You admired me? Let's talk a little bit about that admiration, shall we? And where I got my physical appearance. This goes back to when I was a mere particular... yeah, I guess that's a thing, like, she must have fashioned it after Michel, right? Because, like, the white-haired girl, why did it have to look like Michel? Oh my gosh, so much is being answered here. When I still had no mind of my own at that point, I witnessed everything that took place within the house. And in the moment of your death, Michel, was I born. You saw my death? Your actions that day appeared to me as the very definition of selfless and honorable. Your life bore many similarities with Morgana's. You were both abused, imprisoned, called a witch. But while Morgana sought vengeance, you watched your own mother burn your crucified body, and you wished for release rather than revenge. There's nothing honorable about that. I just lost all hope for myself. I expect you'll disagree with me, say it was a sign of your weakness, but that was not how I interpreted it. Self-sacrifice being one of the core characteristics Morgana gave to me, I was deeply moved. You didn't curse those who had wronged you in life. You chose your own destruction, and I admired that strength of spirit. That admiration helped to shape my wish, to determine the form I would take, the name I would have. Oh my gosh, right, the name! That's why she was called Michel! It's so sweet! He is like an angel that she, like, looked up to and wanted to, like, you know, fashion her life, you know, after. That's why whenever I gained a physical body, it was modeled after yours with snow-white hair and ruby-red eyes. Why my name was always Michel, after the same angel from whom you took yours. I'm not. I'm in no way worthy of anyone's admiration. My admiration caused both you and the woman you love a great deal of pain, and for that I apologize. But it also shows just how much I wanted to be like you. I would ask for you, if you would be so kind, to consider this a great favor for a starry-eyed little girl. A girl who quite literally idolized you to her very soul. Don't. I couldn't ask for a greater honor. How can you tell me that? Than to be erased from the world by you, my idol, and then ask me to kill you. Please, Michel, be the one to send me off. I'm gonna save just in case. Oh gosh. What happens if I just don't... If I don't touch it for a bit? I don't think it's giving me a choice. I think I literally, like, Michel will not do it. No matter how many times you ask, I can't kill someone who's told me they wanted to live. I know what it's like to wish for life. I don't know if you realized it yet, Michel, but this is the first time we've actually met. The story of the fourth door was Morgana's creation, which means that until now, we've never been in the same place while both aware of the other's presence. As far as you should be concerned, I'm a complete stranger, yet still you hesitate. I'm glad you're reluctant, but you've shown me enough sympathy. I don't consider you a stranger at all. Indeed, this is the first time we've formally met. But I've watched you go through so much. I've seen you live 3 different lives. I've seen the impact you've had on the people behind all 3 of those doors. You're in no way a stranger. With my erasure, Morgana's soul will eventually become whole again. Her curse and the eternal cycle of agony it brings will be no more. When I'm gone, everything will return to its rightful place. I implore you to not hesitate any longer. Are there really no other options? Is killing you really the only way to make things right? To release everyone from this curse? I'm delighted to have finally been able to meet you, the man after whom I modeled myself. I'm incapable of taking my own life, Michel. God's teachings prohibit it, and as such, my identity as a saint prevents me from doing so. I don't want you to commit suicide. I want to find some way for you to live, to remain a part of this world. I know that by asking this of you, I'm causing you great heartache, and for that I offer you my sincerest apologies. But so long as I continue to exist in this world, Morgana can never truly have redemption. Tell me, who is it you've been fighting so hard to save? That doesn't mean that I didn't want to save you too. I believed I could save everyone summoned to the mansion, that no one would have to suffer anymore, that there would be no more tragedies. Michel, take the sword, please. Worry not, Michel. Doing this will allow you to save everyone. You'll cast off the darkness inhabiting the house, set all its prisoners free, give Morgana her salvation, and give me mine as well. Extinguishing my soul will be my salvation. I've had a full, satisfying life, even if every moment of it was rooted in iniquity? I had well beyond my share of happiness. I don't need any more. Oh, Michel, namesake of the great Archangel Michael and man of tremendous virtue, I ask of you to please draw the cycle of misfortune to an end, to take this blade and deliver everyone from their fates. It must be you, Michel. You must be the one to do this. Take the sword. All right, here we go. Thank you, Michel, for having the strength to do what must be done, and I apologize for putting you in such a difficult position. Once my soul's been erased, I will be gone from this world forever. I will not return, not in this or any other form. I feel no woe in that knowledge, though. I welcome my destruction with the utmost of joy. However, if it wouldn't be too much to ask, for you to keep just a little bit of me in a corner of your soul, Michel, to remember me, to remember the life I lived, that would make it all worthwhile. Thank you, Michel. You may very well be a genuine angel. The whiteness surrounding me evaporates, and I find myself back in the observation tower. I can still feel it in my hand, the impact of the sword piercing her breast. Ugh, damn it! Why? Why couldn't there have been some other way? Erasing a soul is not salvation. God damn it all. She deserved better. So much better than that. Gah. No, now is not the time to grieve. There's work to be done. A girl to whom I must offer the chance for salvation. I mustn't cry over the white-haired girl's death now. There are things I need to take care of first. Morgana. Morgana stands there, staring off absently into the distance. After some time, she slowly turns to face me. What exactly was all that about? Come on, say something. Answer me. Morgana. How? It doesn't make any sense. He and the Lord. They couldn't. There were 2 different lords. The one at the estate, and the one who locked you in the tower. How? What was he doing there? That's not... I didn't... The man I was trying to curse was the Lord who threw the blood sabbats. How did I... Are you saying I remember wrong? That's ridiculous. I won't hear it. I won't have it for a second. You were in a very tenuous condition, Morgana. More than even you realize. You can't assume everything you saw in that state of mind to be true. Why? Just why? That only makes it that much worse. Why would he do that? How could he kill me? He said he would show me the world. I cried for him. And he turns out to be the one pulling the strings? You saw what led to this. You heard what he had to say for himself. Misunderstandings that went unresolved, that should have been cleared up immediately. What he did was wrong, indefensible as far as I'm concerned. This all could have been avoided if he had just told you everything. That said, Morgana, I can somewhat sympathize with how he felt then. You can sympathize with that monster? In what way? He loved you, sincerely loved you. And to be the target of such vitriol from a girl he cared so dearly about, to be mistaken for someone else entirely, I can understand how that would have hurt. It doesn't matter. That doesn't change anything. Like I said before you started all this, it doesn't change anything. Does this revelation change what happened to me? Does it make me any less of a hate-filled witch? What does it matter if he had his reasons? What does it matter if he's not who I thought he was? It doesn't change the fact I despise him with every fiber of my being. It's time to let go, Morgana. I met with the white-haired girl. I know her true nature. That's not me. You're right. I cannot definitively say you and the white-haired girl are one and the same. However, I can say with certainty she was a part of you. A creation of your broken spirit. The fact remains she was closer to you than anyone else, in every sense of the word. Can you see the situation you're in, Morgana? The terrible, tragic irony of it all? You've cursed yourself along with everyone else. You brought ruin to a life of your own creation, numerous times. You murdered yourself. It's time to let go, Morgana. There's only pain to be found in continuing down this road. Morgana. There's a saying where it says, like, when you feel hatred, or like when you curse someone, or like when you have hatred in your heart for someone, it's basically like you're drinking poison, like you're poisoning yourself as well as them. It's just like, you know, by hating them, it's just... But I can also see her point of view too. Like, I mean, that would be all the stuff that happened to her. I feel like you would have to basically be a saint to not feel any sort of hatred for people who did that to you, especially someone that claimed to have loved you. I take a step toward her and she steps back, quietly maintaining our distance. I can almost hear trembling in her voice as she says, "Stay back. You, stay away from me. You have nothing to be afraid of, Morgana. I won't hurt you." I said stay back. I bet you think this is hilarious, that I'm blind and a fool. Morgana. Yes, good on you, my dear. You've revealed my big secret, that I'm a feeble-minded little girl with a poor memory. You've uncovered the truth of my death, discovered the white-haired girl's true identity. I always presumed she was you. How foolish of me. Laughing like I knew anything, cursing the entirely wrong man. Absolutely brilliant, you might say. I've made myself into quite the laughingstock. I'm not going to laugh about your pain, Morgana. I've come to realize that perhaps I empathize with you out of more than just our shared loneliness. We were both yoked with unimaginable misfortune, lived our lives in lamentation of our fates. I understand your pain. That boat has long since sailed. You're right, it has. This is a realization that I should have come to much sooner. Though you said it wouldn't have mattered, I still should have made an effort to get to know you in life. I feel guilty about how I constantly pushed you away, so I'd like to make up for that now. I approach Morgana, hands stretched out toward her. She stands there bewildered, as I place them on her shoulders, pulling her in. Not for my own comfort, as I had so many times before, and not out of some pretend sense of pity for a sad pile of bones. I embrace her, and all the pain and loneliness she holds inside. Her body gives off no warmth, and it's as weightless as the skeleton all those many years ago. She, like me, lost so much in life, but unlike me, she had no one there in her final moments. It's all right, Morgana. Everything's okay now. tale behind the fourth door may have just been a fabrication, but the creator's soul is always somewhere to be found in her creations. Knowing the inseparable link between her and the white-haired girl, that's where I'll find what I'm looking for. I'm here for you. You're not alone, Morgana. We can end all this suffering together. It's going to be okay. What is wrong with you? Have you completely lost it? Do I need to remind you of everything I've done? Of all the pain I've caused you? No reminders necessary. You did quite a number on me indeed. And do you want to tell me how we went from that to you holding me? You didn't do what you did out of a particular grudge against me. Of that much I was always certain. So I hold nothing against you. I bear no ill will. Nor, I'm certain, does Giselle. You're much too forgiving. I imagine there's something about having experienced the kind of pain we have that makes it hard to harbor any ill will toward one of our kind. Shared trauma or not, you and that woman really are something. God, there are no words for how much you irritate me. The bite slowly drains from Morgana's voice, and in the quiet, I think I hear a muffled attempt to hold back a whimper. I pull away slightly, putting a hand under her chin and lifting her head. She quickly averts her eyes, but doesn't knock my hands away as I reach them into her hood, gently setting them against her cheeks. I run my fingers across the exposed flesh, and slowly pull back the hood covering her face. Well, look at that. You're quite pretty without your face hidden. I didn't think you were the flattering type. I assure you, I'm not. Go on. Touch your cheeks. Wait. Is she healed? Oh my gosh! Now this is the girl you were always meant to be. Morgana had had less of harrowing life. This is probably what she would have looked like at 16. You know, you look a little like the white-haired girl. We look nothing alike, I can assure you of that. She was the very antithesis of me. But she was also once a part of you. The last thing I want is to be like her in any way. Why is that? Because I never liked that girl at all. Always putting others before herself. Just watching her was aggravating. Although, in retrospect, she was everything about myself I deemed unnecessary, so that might explain why it was so hard to watch. Also, I was so sure she was you, which made it all the more frustrating. Why would her being me bother you so much? Because that wasn't you. You're aggressive, you yell, you fight. Is that how she saw me? How wouldn't it bother me you came back as a quiet, passive, subservient girl? Of course, now I know it wasn't you, so... You were that sure it was me, despite thinking we were nothing alike? Apparently so. Hold on a second. Why would that bother you? I'll let you figure that one out. It's not important. So, you've got my attention. What are you planning to do now? Did Morgana, fall in love with Michel? Or something? And then he came back as, a girl who was nothing like the person that she thought he was? I don't know, why would that bother her? To leave the mansion with you. To set everyone free and break the curse. Setting them free will set you free as well. So you want me to release their souls? Exactly. Just so you know, I haven't forgiven them. My hatred isn't going to just vanish like it was nothing. I'll never be able to forgive them completely. But, you're right. This has gone on long enough. Morgana, I'm not even sure what I'm doing anymore. And it's all your fault. So sure, I'll release their souls. I'm so glad to hear it. I feel like there's a but contingency here. However, I don't want to see them alone. I'm not sure I'll be able to set them free if I have to face them on my own. That won't be a problem. I'll go with you. We'll go see them together. Oh, so she's gonna go and, confront them? Talk to them face to face and then they can be released? You get to be my guide this time, then. You get to take up Giselle's old mantle. That I do. Even if it means taking this hand? You honestly think I have any reservations about that? God, I swear, you really are the worst. She's smiling, sorta. Lead the way, my dear, to where their souls wait. Yeah, because if this is the mansion, right, they would still be wandering around their souls like when Michel saw them. Hand in hand, we travel the cursed mansion's corridors. The halls overflow with darkness, cut off from the sun and devoid of color. Despite having spent much time in this place, it's never stopped being depressingly gloomy. No one, for any reason, should be left behind in a place like this. We crossed through the living room, making our way to the back garden door. Alright, so we're going to see Mel first. We're going to go in order. There were no children laughing beyond the door, but I can faintly smell flowers. Michel, what am I supposed to say to them? If nothing comes to mind, you don't have to say anything. I get the feeling they will have something to say to you, though. So if you would, try to hear them out. I'm not looking forward to this. It will go fine, I promise. Nothing that happens could possibly make things worse than they already are. The only way to go from here is up, so here we go. Let's go then, I suppose. A hollow breeze brushes through the gray-filled rose garden. The shadow standing there turns toward us. It gradually starts looking more and more like the young man it once was. Morgana? It's okay. We're here to free your soul. Michel. He's like, yeah, sorry about earlier with the whole, like, sticking your arm in the rose bush thing. You forgive me for what I did, Morgana? No, I don't. All this means is I'm done cursing you. Oh. Either way, thank you. I know what I'm doing here now. Or I guess, I remember what I'm doing here. I deserve to be cursed after everything I've done to you. It can't have been easy, that's for sure. That's putting it lightly. I'm sorry for all the pain I caused. What's done is done. I guess. Still, I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to be friends. I meant it. I really did. I know now why you did what you did, why you sold me out. Some people might say you had no other choice, but as the girl you actually sold out, those are words you'll never hear from my lips. Fair enough. Nonetheless, objectively speaking, you too were a victim. Do you not resent me for punishing you in spite of that? Huh? I presume you're now able to recall everything, both your first life and the second one I subjected you to, when the house was called Rose Manor? Yeah. What happened there was the result of my wish. You have every right to despise me. The way I see it, with or without your curse, Nellie still would have had the same feelings for me. It was my fault for being too dense to realize she thought of me as more than a brother. Things would have turned out the way they did regardless. The white-haired girl was the spark that set her off, though, and it was because of me she ended up at that mansion. My wish was to see your life utterly ruined, and in service of that desire, the white-haired girl was born into that era as your half-sister. So I disagree. My curse did play a significant role in your fate. Regardless, I don't feel like it would have been right of me to blame you. Things turned out the way they did, because I was weak and ran from the problem instead of facing it. Michel wouldn't have had to get hurt either, if only I'd had more of a spine. I guess calling her Michel is kind of confusing with Michel here, huh? How should I refer to her then? Girl Michel, maybe? Creativity is not your strong suit, is it? She wouldn't happen to be around, would she? She's departed from this world, or perhaps it'd be better to say, she's returned to her rightful place in it. The girl you knew as Michel is gone forever. Ah, that's too bad. I was hoping I could apologize to her too. I believe you've made your feelings quite clear. Not that she would hold it against you if you didn't apologize. That's simply her nature. Oh. Well, Morgana, I'm so sorry for everything. I'm going to free your soul from the bonds of this cursed mansion, after which it should return to its rightful place. Okay. But before that, I've got one last thing I'd like to say. To you, Michel. To me? It was a little hazy, but I did kind of get to see what you were up to until just a bit ago. So he burned it into his soul. If you hadn't done what you did for me, for Nellie, for Morgana, for everyone, I'm not sure I would have been able to work up the guts to apologize. I'm pretty sure I would have still been convinced I wasn't at fault. It may not have been real, but your effort wasn't in vain. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Farewell, Mel, until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Goodbye, Morgana. You don't have to tell me that he wasn't a bad person. But bad people aren't the only ones who do bad things. That's true, yes, but having a conscience can be a double-edged sword. A regret so overwhelming you don't want to believe you could do something so awful that some outside force must be to blame. So I hope you're willing to accept at least part of his apology. Lead the way, my dear, to where the next soul waits. The staircase leading to the cellar is quiet, the air still, no sounds of flesh being devoured, no stench of blood, just darkness reaching ever downward. I'm going to have to ask you to go in first this time. I don't mind, but why? I'd rather not be skewered. It'll be fine, I'm sure. I doubt he'll attack. I can't say I'm anywhere near as confident as you. So you get to be my meat shield, so should anything go wrong. Ah, so that's what I am to her. We may not have bodies, but we are still capable of feeling pain. You don't have to remind me. I'm most excited to see Jacobo's reaction, to see her, like, I don't want to say normal, but, like, with her face not falling off. And he'd probably be like, you're just as pretty as I thought you'd be. I have to say, I'm surprised you actually made it to the top of the tower. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Half and half. Regardless, don't assume you're safe just because you're already dead. If I were to attack and destroy your soul, if he were to attack and destroy your soul, you would be erased for all eternity. Now she tells him. There would be no coming back in any shape or form after any amount of time. Just something to keep in mind. I'm not worried. We shouldn't have any trouble talking to him. If you say so, then off we go. I push open the cellar door. Behind it, a shadow of a man sits on the floor, leaning against a stack of boxes. He slowly rises to his feet upon hearing us enter, and as he does, the blackness dissolves away, revealing the man. I almost didn't recognize you. Your face, it's not how I remember. It's back to normal. I see. So you weren't a witch. You were a pretty human girl. You look a little like the blind girl. No, I do not. Not one bit. If anything, he looks far more like her than I. White hair, red eyes. They even have almost the same name. I think comparing her to a large, dour-looking man is a bit disrespectful. Don't pretend you look any more approachable. He's not even half the man you think he is. Is that really necessary, Morgana? He is a man. He's indisputably a man, no matter what reason you have to claim otherwise. It's nice to see people acknowledging Michel and, like, you know, telling him what he feels that he is. Actually, can angels be male or female? Can you please cut it out with the angel thing already? So, what brings you two down here? We're here to free your soul. You are forgiving me? Absolutely not. However, I've decided there is no point in punishing you any further. I see. You are in no uncertain terms one of the most evil men I have ever encountered. I can hardly argue with that. Should you so desire, I can eradicate you. Morgana, Let me finish, Michel. Instead of letting your soul return, I can erase it. Your existence is a scar on the world. The allure of killing is too strong for you to resist. Even without my curse, you would bring pain and misfortune on others. I hate to say it, but like of the three men, Yukimasa is definitely the one where it's just like, if he had to disappear, I feel like it would be, I don't want to say beneficial to the world, but it would probably alleviate a lot of potential pain. But we just have to hope that he takes the words that Michel told him to burn into his soul and try and live by that. You're right, and that would probably be for the best. The world would be better off without me. And I know that. I do. But I don't want to disappear. As you wish. Then I will release your soul. Before I go, allow me to burn this into my soul. You must resist temptation if you are to blend in. So in my next life, I won't be a killer. I suppose it's worth trying. Do your best. I will. Farewell, Yukimasa, until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Farewell, Morgana. Alright, now let's get to the one that I want. I want Jacobo his reaction to seeing her just like as a normal girl. Their reunion. To see if she actually like still harbors some positive feelings towards Jacobo. He's not the only one who derived pleasure from others' pain. Morgana. It's strange. Setting them free, I both feel like a weight's been lifted, and like I'm the greatest villain of them all. Perhaps by forgiving them, you can come to forgive yourself. But if I forgive them, what does that make everything I've done up until now? First step toward moving on. Could you forgive those who wronged you then? Oh, I mean, he already has. The woman who tormented you, your brother who made a mockery of you, your eldest brother who took your life, your mother so unwilling to accept she burned you at the stake, the villagers who falsely accused you of being a witch, your father who raped the woman you love. Could you forgive them? If they were willing to repent. And if they weren't? What if they showed up intent on causing you more pain? Then I suppose I'm not acting much better than any of them right now. Let's go. We have one more soul to free. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Is Giselle really there with you? Yeah, what happened to Giselle? I want to know. They better be reunited. I assume that they will be. Once all this is over, they'll be together in the afterlife together. That's what I hope. Because I can't sense her at all. If she were in the mansion, I would know, but I can't feel her presence anywhere. Be honest with me. You can't feel her either, can you? Are you sure her soul hasn't extinguished? She's here, I'm certain of it. Lost somewhere deep in the mansion's darkness. Once we've purged that darkness, she should be free to return. I have faith in her. I see. Well, I'm not sure how much this means coming from me. But I hope you see her again. I will, and thank you. I'm actually rather fond of her, Giselle. Although I suppose it's hard not to get a little attached to someone you've spent several hundred years with. Just attached? Giselle, she's fairly fond of you herself. I can only hope. The smell of cigarette smoke seeps through the cracks in the den door. It's perfectly quiet behind it, however. No chatter or clacking of billiards balls. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the one that she's probably gonna be, like, she's the one who, she has the most connection, the most history with Jacobo, so of course this is the one she's gonna be the most hesitant about. Morgana appears slightly reluctant to step through the door, or perhaps she's tense. Shall we? Her hand in mine, I push open the door. A shadow is perched on the edge of a dark green rectangular table. He freezes for a moment when he hears us enter, quickly finding his composure and marching toward us, determination in his step. Shadows dissolve, revealing the man. Morgana, your face, it healed. It did. It's been a long time coming. And would you look at that? Not a letdown. Was it him that healed you? Yes, it was him. Well, I was always hoping I'd be the one to have the honor. You lost that qualification when you... Yeah, I know. I'm the one who made you into the witch. The one who killed you. I don't expect or deserve your forgiveness. I'd still like a chance to make amends, in any way you wish. Even if it means being cursed for all eternity. I'm here to release your soul. Once that's done, that's it from me. No curses, no forgiveness, nothing. Huh. So you're cutting ties completely. Damn. Truthfully, I had no idea how you felt about me. But that ship sailed long ago. Far, far too long ago. I know. I mean, that'd be kind of awkward to start a relationship knowing what he's done to her in a past life. It'd be kind of hard to get past that. Nothing can change how I feel about you. Not anymore. I bet. I'm going to release your soul now. Could you hold off on that for a moment? I wonder if he's gonna... Well, he gave her the necklace in life, right? Or at least in whatever alternate world that was. He gave her that necklace. He put it around her after she died. I don't expect you to reciprocate, or even accept, but if I don't put my feelings into words, I'll never get them through to you. I think that's how she put it anyway. Oh, how she put it. Maybe he was talking to Giselle. So I ask for this one last chance to put them into words. Morgana, fine. The girl with the white hair, my wife. Oh, okay, her, not Giselle. Something about that name always felt off to me. I could never shake the feeling calling her that was somehow wrong. Oh, it's because he knew that, like, she was a part of Morgana, so she was Morgana? When I first saw her, saw that smile, I was dead certain she was what had always been missing from my life, that I'd finally found what I'd been searching for. And now I know why. Because I felt you in her, the memories of you ingrained on my soul. You should know better than anyone we're nothing alike. That girl wouldn't say anything remotely impolite even if you held a knife to her throat. You're right, you're nothing alike. But you've both got this aura about you that drew me in. Your soul's aura. I loved you dearly, Morgana. I've got no right to ask anything of you, I know. But could you maybe smile for me? Just once is all I ask. I can't do it. No, it's like if someone asks you to smile on the spot and it's not genuine, it's... Ugh. I should. I know I should. That it would let us end things on a nice note. But I can't force myself to smile. It wouldn't be fair. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm sorry for putting you in that position. I've said my piece. I'm ready now. Okay. Very well then. Farewell, Jacobo. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Goodbye, Morgana. You couldn't have done anything more for him? Such as? I won't deny my feelings about him are complicated, but the things he did to me, they eclipse all that. I'm glad that it didn't, like, end on a super, like, happy note that they all of a sudden, like, they fall in love and, you know, she forgives him for everything. Like, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. It's like she said, the emotions are complicated. You know, the fact that he put her through all that and was like, can you smile for me? And that she didn't, I'm like, I appreciate that. Merely learning the truth, hearing how he felt, is nowhere near enough to erase that. Like, it deals with trauma better than just like, oh, all is forgiven now, and we're happy together, and we can be together in the afterlife. It's like, no. I still want Michel and Giselle together, though. They are couple goals. Couldn't you at least put a little hope in your next lives? Oh yeah, maybe they will see each other in the next lives. Maybe then. Maybe they'll be together in the next lives. And have a chance, maybe. Maybe you two could try again? No, I can't. I don't want to encounter him again. Ever. Oh, Michel, you're such a hopeless romantic, like he's secretly shipping them. Or not so secretly. Then if nothing else, could you try not to forget he did save you once? I suppose. Though my salvation, Michel, was not ultimately at his hands. I was watching to the very end. It may have all been an illusion constructed from the memories of everyone's souls. But that didn't make your actions any less real. The things you said to me, your earnest desperation, learning the truth is only partly why I decided to release their souls. The biggest reason, however, was seeing how far you went for me. If you hadn't been there for my death, you hadn't done what you did, then I would not have freed them. Oh, nonetheless, is it unfair of me to wish you'd shown him that smile instead, Morgana? Well, that's the last of them. Shall we be off now? The front door should open. Now that I'm not willing it closed any longer. Shall we take our leave of this house? Oh, I have a choice. One more stop to make. I don't know what that stop is. I'm guessing it's Giselle's. Maybe it's the bedroom. Maybe it's Michel's bedroom. There's one more soul that needs releasing. Shit, could I have just, like, walked out of that house without even, like, trying to get Giselle? That would feel so wrong. Be my guide. Still holding Morgana's hand, I make my way to the wall, where the landscape painting hangs. Ah, okay. I forgot about that painting. I thought it was going to be his bedroom. You told me to come back if I ever figured out your name. Oh, George. What? The painting! He was right, he's the one who painted everything. Oh my goodness, so he's gonna... Is he gonna be able to talk to his brothers, maybe? Or is it just George? I'm sorry, guys, I know I'm gonna ruin their names. I'm just gonna call him George. Hey, I'm Michel. Hello. How'd you figure out it was me? Of course I'd recognize my own brother. Well, granted, I didn't recognize you at first. It's not every day your big bro winds up as a painting, huh? Came as quite the surprise when I finally made the connection. I'll bet it did. Hold on a minute. You two are brothers? I assumed you knew. Oh, hello there. Quite the companion you've got there, Michel. So what brings you two to my little corner of the house? I've decided I'm going to extinguish the mansion. Oh, really? Well, isn't that something? You act like I just told you what I'm having for supper. This place is going to disappear. Forever. Well, yeah, sure, but what brought about this? I've lost interest in cursing them. Ah, now that's some good news. You seem to get along surprisingly well with her. Time out the hoo-ha and nobody else to talk to will do that to you. Not that she ever gave me the time of day much. You expect me to stand here and listen to you yammer on for hours on end? The only thing you're good for is tossing rubbish into. Wait, so she was the one who put the master key in the painting? That she was. Just tossed her right on in without even asking. Why would you get rid of the key to my room? I had no use for it, and being in that room always made me uncomfortable. It had this terrible warmth to it. I couldn't stand it. Oh. Sure glad she only tossed the key, though. Would have been bad if she'd thrown me out with it. I didn't see the need. I did find it curious there was a soul here I hadn't summoned, but you were ultimately harmless, so I simply pretended you weren't there. So she ignored him for hundreds of years? I understand now what you meant, Michel, when you said this world didn't belong only to me. Your brother was able to find his way here, because it's a place deeply bound to your soul. So he's gonna release George's spirit as well. I'm no expert on none of the spiritual stuff. All I know is one day I was just here and full of regret. So if I had to guess, I'd say I probably ended up here because I wanted to be somewhere I could feel you, Michel. Well, I hope his other brother is gonna be here. I doubt that Amy had much regrets. I doubt she would be here, but I at least hope the brothers, maybe the mother, maybe all of them can kind of like make their peace and be released. George, would you be so kind as to let me apologize? I know quite well how sorry you are, and you've already apologized once besides. I went years not seeing you, not hearing from you, not having any idea what you thought about me. So when I got to that painting, it was a huge blow to me emotionally. Oh, that's right, the painting done up like Michel when he was Michel. But talking to you again has reminded me what kind of person you really are, George. You didn't mean to hurt me. Nope. Honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. Mom said paint it, so I painted it. And when she told me she'd sent it off to you, I didn't really think anything of it. George just seems like a little bit of a himbo who just like doesn't really think about how his actions might hurt people. He just kind of plods through life, maybe a little selfish, just thinking about himself, and I feel like he's got a good heart, but yeah, he doesn't think about the consequences of his actions, how they might affect people. It never even crossed my mind to think about how you felt out there, all alone, the kind of pain you were going through just because of the way you were born. When you're not the one on the receiving end, it's easy to be completely blind to your own actions. It never occurred to me we'd essentially exiled you, Michel. Not until it was all over. Now, once again, I'm sorry, you guys have told me how to pronounce his name, but it's been a while. D-Deer, however, I feel like he definitely is more in tune with his emotions and he understands that stuff, but I think he was just seeing it from, he tried to justify it as like, I'm doing it for the good of the church or whatever. And that's almost worse than George, who's just oblivious to it. Really, all I can say is sorry you got stuck with such a dope for a brother. All I had to do was think about it for 2 seconds, and I would have realized what we were doing. And you know, at the time I thought, what does it matter if you're a guy or a girl? You're still you. But I was wrong. It's not that simple. I can only imagine someone coming up to me one day and saying, nah, you're actually a girl, and everyone I care about suddenly not wanting anything to do with me. What a drag that would be. I'm real sorry, bro. It's okay, George. I forgive you. Thanks. I wanted so badly to see you and D-Deer again. D-Deer? D-Deer. I'm just gonna call him Di. Well, I didn't get that chance in life. I'm still glad to have the opportunity to talk to you now, to hear the things you never got to say. It pains me to see you reduced to this form, but knowing it's a result of overwhelming regret, that you were just that desperate to find me again. It warms my heart. What? What on earth was that? Me trying my damnedest not to burst into tears. I don't think it worked very well, though. Does the canvas look wet? Could you feel it for me? I think I'll pass. Not feeling up for any brotherly love. Honestly, I'm relieved to see you the same George I always knew. Changing ain't really my thing after all. I suppose it isn't. This doesn't sit right with me. What? Why not? She's like, family acting like, family and, getting along with each other. I can understand why Morgana is just not about that. You're letting him off the hook far too easily, Michel. I know very well just how much pain that painting caused you. It might as well have been what resurrected me. I've moved past that, though. Make him pay for what he did. It feels like Morgana didn't learn a damn thing. She's still all about, revenge. Scribble on him. Do what? Scrawl your anger all over that ridiculous painting. But I'm not angry. Now that's a damn fine idea if I've ever heard one. You most definitely need to make me pay, Michel. George? Go on, hit me with everything you got. Scribble away. Even if I wanted to, I have nothing to draw with. Just use your finger and I'll trace it out for you. Come on, what are you waiting for? He really wants me to draw on him, doesn't he? He more than deserves it, Michel. Bring it on, Michel. I love how George speaks so, like... I mean, he was born back in old times, and yet he speaks, he's just like, come on, bro. Hit me, bro. He sounds like such a dude, bro, from, like, this time. This conversation got bizarre fast. Okay, I'll draw on you. Aw, and the kitty! The kitty with the weird name that I can't remember. Oh my. Now that is downright ghastly. What? You might actually have potential, Michel. Voodoo dolls are the last thing I expected from you. 4 of them at that. And a demonic being alongside them. He's like, I was just trying to draw our family and a cat. Oh, I can just feel your burning rancor, Michel. That's not what I drew at all. What? Then what is it? It's not important. Now that that's finished, I think it's time we all took our leave. Oh, I can come too? Well, I might need a little help with that, Michel. As you can see, walking ain't one of my talents. That's alright, I'll carry you. Careful taking me off my hook. By all means, feel free to drop him, Michel. Oh, that was sweet. So is it just going to be George, or are we going to be able to find the rest of his family here? I must say, that is a rather amusing sight. Oh, is that you smiling? Ugh. I was like, maybe don't smile. It's definitely not every day you get to see a full-grown man turned painting being hauled down a spooky hall by his little bro. George. It does make me wonder, though. Are you two really brothers? I have a hard time believing you share even a drop of blood with this obnoxious lout, Michel. We are brothers, right, George? Whoa, don't you start questioning it too, Michel. We are absolutely, positively, 100% brothers. She has a good point, though. We don't even look that much alike. No shocking family plot twists here. That'd be too many. We've had enough plot twists as it is. I've known you since you were a baby, Michel. Maybe you were secretly illegitimate, George, not me. You're not going to let go of this, are you? Haha, I'm just playing with you. Oh my god, you just laughed. Yes? What? I didn't get to see it. What was it like? Give me all the details. An ordinary laugh. Is the world ending? It's not that big of a deal. I laugh just like everyone else. No, you most certainly do not. Nope, you definitely don't. Welp, so much for my tearful reunion with the brother I always knew and loved. Anyway, since we're breaking character here, how about one from our favorite witch, too? And no cackling, that doesn't count. Excuse me? Why would you want me to? Because every time I've seen you smile, it's never been about anything good. Plus, now that you've got your face back, you're actually quite the looker. Go on, give me a big old grin. She's like, oh my god, is this what it's like to be a woman? Men just telling you to smile all the time. Not happening. Come on. Okay, fine. If you don't want to do it for me, pretend it's for Michel. What do I have to do with anything? You can do it for old Michel, can't ya? Show him those pearly whites, girly. I mean, we saw her smile, and it was terrifying. Oh, if you insist, I suppose I can smile for Michel. But only him. Excuse me, was that supposed to be my voice? Because I do not sound anything like that. Haha, look at you, puffing your cheeks and red in the face. George, try not to tease her too much. Ugh, I don't know how anyone can stand you. It's like every word that comes out of your mouth exists solely to ruin the mood. You know, maybe it wouldn't hurt to lighten up a bit. This is the end of a long journey. But that doesn't mean we have to make it a somber and uptight affair. I am genuinely not sure how I feel about you, the most somberly uptight man I know, telling me to lighten up. She's got a point, but I'm not that bad, am I? Anyway, shall we be off now? That we shall. The witch and her band of merry men departs. I am not sure if one person in a talking painting constitutes a band. Giselle, I know we'll find each other again. I have faith we will. We'll cast away this mansion's darkness, and then I'll await your return, no matter how long it takes. Yes, I think it's time we took our leave. I guess it's just George then. Maybe Di doesn't feel guilt enough to have showed up here. Having finished what we set out to do, and retrieved George as well, we make our way to the mansion's entrance hall. The large door stands there, firmly shut, holding in the darkness as it has for countless generations. But that time is almost at an end. I can't believe it! We're finishing this! The door ready to be opened, to end the cycle and begin anew. Being a painting for all these years, I never realized just how big a place this was. All I ever got to see was a hallway and maybe a couple of doors. I mean, talk about dull, you know? Feels like I'm on an adventure, exploring a whole new world. Now let's have the sequel be The Adventures of Morgana, Michel, and a Talking Painting. Maybe Giselle too. Michel, Giselle, Morgana, and George. Feels like I'm on an adventure exploring a whole new world, a very, very dark world. Michelle, would you mind shutting him up? I feel like this could be a comedy right now, them all living in the same house together. If only it were that simple. Can you blame me for being talkative? It was a lonely life. That would be fine if you had any concept of the appropriate time and place to be chatty. Are you aware of where we are right now? The entrance, by the look of things? Precisely, the end to a centuries-long act of vengeance is but a few feet beyond that door, and you're chatting away like it's another day at the court. Try to maintain at least a semblance of gravity, if you would. I'm starting to notice you're rather ceremonious, aren't you, Morgana? This is a day to be celebrated, not to be stiff and no fun allowed. Are you not at all worried? There's no guarantee any hope lies beyond that door. After all, when the mansion disappears, so too will we. And that's the rightful state of things. Our present forms may cease to exist, but our souls will live on, and so long as they do, we will eventually return to the world. Let us press onward, not fearing a temporary end. Well said, Michel. If I had feet, you'd have just swept me right off them. George, I'm beginning to wonder what would happen if I threw you at the wall. Now, let's not do anything hasty. Oh, for God's sake. You're the guide. So, let's go then, shall we? Morgana's right. There's a severe lack of gravity to the affair. But thanks to George's lackadaisical nature, whatever fear I had is gone as well. His ever-playful interactions bring me back to when I was alive, to when it was me and my two brothers. Fond memories of the times we had together, of the admiration I had for them, of me chasing after them. Nothing could possibly replace those days, and I'm glad I had a chance to reflect on them, if briefly, before the end. I take a few steps forwards, stopping just in front of the door, and Morgana steps up beside me. I envision the light that lies beyond it, radiant and white, waiting to rip through the darkness. The light we seek, that we've long sought. I take in a deep breath, look up at the door, place my hand on its hard surface, and push it open, welcoming the future it holds. What, should just complete darkness be like, wait, what? This isn't how it's supposed to go. Ooh, burn the witch. What? Oh, maybe is he gonna get to encounter his brother after all? What? Crucify the impure. We take one step back, then another. What we find outside is not a blinding realm of light. Ah! I was right! It seemed too good to be true. But churning blackness and the stench of blood and rust. Metal clanks, growing louder with each heavy footstep. That's definitely his brother of the approaching night. Oh shit! Death to the unholy. 3 days and 3 nights hanged upon the cross, purified by the fires of heaven. Death. What's going on? I never summoned this thing. He's like the final boss. Even though we're no longer holding hands, I can feel Morgana trembling. She's no longer the witch, the once absolute ruler of this domain, but a frightened young girl. Placing my arm around her shoulders and pulling her in, I stare, half dumbfounded, at the night. It is our holy duty, as knights of the church, to deliver punishment unto the heathen, who made a pact with the devil. The night draws nearer and nearer, its movement sluggish but constant. Die. Wait, for real? Crucify the witch, cast judgment upon the demon. The word witch coming from the delirious, vengeful phantom's mouth proves far more distressful for Morgana than me. Whoa, hold on. What's Dee doing here? Oh, I've been saying a die. It's D. I guess a D deer? D dyer? I'll call him D. George calls him D. I'll call him D. Please come to your senses, D. I know it's you. Judgment, crucifixion, execution. No, no, I'm not. I'm not a witch. The night is partially occluded by the dark, writhing miasma enveloping him, but he bears the same muscular build as the D I knew in life, and he's unwaveringly determined to see us executed. D, this is not how I hoped our reunion would go, D. Why, after so very long, is this how the three of us find each other again? Images flashed through my mind, the day I left the Bollinger estate, when D promised me we would one day meet again, them each giving me a hug before I climbed into the carriage. First D, then George. Is this my fault? Is he here because I wish to be reunited with my brothers? Is this the way fate chose to grant that wish? Burn the witch. Well, look at that. Guess I'm not your only block-headed brother, huh? George, before you get any bright ideas, Michel, it's not your fault our long-awaited family reunion didn't quite go as planned. Just like me, D cursed himself. Only it seems his was a whole lot more powerful. God, I really didn't pay a lick of attention to either of you, did I? The unclean witch must be purified from this world. It is my duty. Hey, D, are you in there? I shoved a whole lot of crap onto your plate. Keeping up the family name, taking care of Mom, just about everything I could leave to you, I did. I must uphold the honor of the family name. And then when it was all over, I blamed you for killing our little brother. I was convinced you could do anything, that you were stronger than anyone. Crucify the witch. I'm sorry, D. Burn the witch. He continues his plodding march forward, seemingly unaffected. It's impossible to tell if George's words are getting through to him. Stop, D, please. And my words don't seem to be either. D! He's closing in on us, and we're running out of space to retreat. Alright, D, if that's how it's gotta be, but just this once, okay? The knight takes another heavy, merciless step toward us. The exit's right there, but we're backed up against the wall. The end was almost within our grasp, yet it seems so hopelessly far away now. Please, D, don't do this. I know you don't actually want to hurt anyone. D. The knight raises his sword, thrusting it forward with a sharp whoosh. Did he cut the painting? Did somehow George, take, did he, somehow jump out of Michel's arms and then he got cut? Death. But then, breaking free... Oh my god, I was joking. Just picturing it in my head is kind of hilarious of, George jumping up and being like, no! Breaking free from my grasp, the painting leaps into the air. I'm really sorry you got stuck with a pair of dolts for brothers. George! The next second, my eldest brother's blade pierces George. George! George! His form wavers momentarily, before fading into the darkness, his voice lingering behind. Don't worry about me, Michel. I got my share of redemption already. I know we can be a bit of a pain. But do for D what you did for me, would ya? Now, go on. Call out to him. Suck in a big old breath, and call out to our brother with everything you've got. George! It is my duty to punish the impure. Gah! To uphold the Bollinger name. D. Despite having already stabbed George, the knight continues his march, blade pointed straight at me. I clench my teeth and glare at my eldest brother. Running is out of the question. This doesn't have to go on any longer. It is my duty as the eldest son. You deserve to be freed from your bonds as well. Be gone from this world. D! I shout his name with every ounce of air in my lungs. His eyes go wide, and his blade swerves off course, missing my heart. What if he got stabbed in the arm that he'd already got stabbed with by the swordsman, piercing my gut instead? Ah, shit. D, it's okay. You can let go now. It's not your responsibility anymore. You have no duty to anything anymore. D. I reach a hand out for my brother, Blood spills from the hole in my abdomen in rhythmic spurts, and I can feel something hot rising in my throat. But that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop my hand crawling through the air toward him. He's my brother. I have to do whatever I can for him. Free him. Bring him back. D, there's nothing here in need of your judgment. With shaking fingers, I clasp my brother's arm. I squeeze, holding on with what vigor remains, and give another shout. Look me in the eyes, D, please. Hear my voice. Hear your brother's voice. I can't stand to lose anyone else. If you don't come to your senses, then George's sacrifice will have been in vain. It's time for you to break free, for all three of us to be free of the curses we placed on ourselves. D, please. I hear a sound that's somewhere between a grunt and a gasp. My vision's gone blurry, so I blink hard several times, clearing my eyes to get a better look at him. D. I see his face, twisted in anguish. Michel. D. Oh, thank goodness, you heard my voice. Did I do this to you, Michel? It's nothing. I've made the same terrible mistake once more. D. I caused you harm, attempted to take your life. It's all right, D. Michel, release yourself from the chains that bind you. But those aren't your duties anymore. You don't have to protect the family name, or uphold the order's standards. You can do it, or you can do as you wish. Punish me for my wrongdoing, please, Michel. Punish me. D. Cast judgment upon me. It's all in the past. Judgment is not necessary for anyone. That doesn't change what I did. I killed you. I hanged you from a cross. I must be made to pay for my sins. Punish me, Michel. I implore you. D. I think I know now why you never removed your helm that day. Why you remained silent for the whole ordeal. Michel, you were crying, weren't you? Weeping for me. Your tears are atonement enough for me. Michel, you bore a great deal of responsibility in life. As the Bollinger's firstborn, you were obligated to protect the family's honor. And as a knight of the church, you were tasked with the duty of my execution. You had no other choice. I sincerely believe there was nothing else you could have done. I bear no grudge against you, no resentment for the decisions you were forced to make. And I certainly don't curse you. Let's just forget it all. It's long over and done. Still it was a mistake I should have never have made. I took the life of the purest soul I know. There's no honor in that. D. I put protecting the family name above protecting my actual family. You trusted me. You believed in me to the very end, and I killed you. I knew what I was doing. I knew you weren't cursed. I knew you weren't a witch. I knew you weren't a demon child. You were never unclean. You're my brother, your family. And I robbed you of your life. There's no one in this world more unfit to be a knight than me. You don't have to be a knight anymore. You don't have to be the Bollinger's firstborn son. Deciding not to wear those labels won't make you any less the brother I always loved. I'm honored to have been born in the same family as you. Michel, there's something I never had the chance to tell you, D. All my life, I looked up to you, admired you, and I still do, even now. If there's a next life awaiting us, I hope we can be brothers again, D. Oh, I want to see that with Michel, not just with Giselle, but if he can be reunited with his brothers again. Would you mind if I wished for that? No, of course not. Please do. And I hope you'll allow me to wish for the same. I love you, Michel, my dear little brother. Upon those words, Dee's phantom begins fading away. A white mist that almost looks like it's made of undulating particles of light rise up around him, and before he's completely enveloped, I catch a glimpse of the tears streaking his cheeks. It's the first time I've ever seen him cry. I attempt to give him a smile in return, but if I were to guess, I'd say it probably looks rather forced. The fact I'm fighting back tears at the same time certainly isn't doing anything to make it convincing. What is it with Michel and D? Like, those two always get me. Before he's completely faded away, I wrap my arms around my brother's shoulders, much like he did for me on the day of my exile. Not as an eternal farewell, but as a promise that we'll meet again. What if they're like, alright, let's step through the door now, and then it's his mother. It's just like it's constantly people he just has to face from his past. D, George. Right now, in this moment, I have no regrets about having been born a Bullinger. All I have is great pride. So I pray that one day, be it 10 or 1,000 years from now, the three of us can be reunited. I've got a number of things going through my mind right now. Morgana, I'm just not sure how to put any of it into words. Don't worry, those words say everything. You can cry if you want. I won't mock you, I promise. No, I won't cry. I'll save my tears for our reunion. Oh. That painting, it didn't have to get itself destroyed. He'll be fine, I'm sure. I have faith. And as you know quite well, wishes do come true. Would you mind giving me a hand, Morgana? I'm going to need a little help getting back up. Oh yeah, that's right, he got stabbed. What if he just died right before, like, he got to go through the door? After a moment's pause, she hesitantly extends her fleshless hand. I clasp the bones. With her aid, pull myself to my feet. Blood spurts from my gut as I do. There's not much in the way of pain, strangely. Only creeping exhaustion. I feel like my legs will give out if I so much as give them the chance. Leaning on Morgana, we make our way back to the entrance. You're not going to disappear, are you? Don't worry, Morgana. I won't disappear. Alright. Let's open the door, together. Bring light into this world of darkness. Move forward. Start anew. Brighter. Let's. I take in a deep breath, look up at the door, my eyes on the future. It's time to open the door. Not to an ending, but the door to a new beginning. May the world that awaits us. Is this it? We better get more than this. Be filled with light. I need that reunion with Giselle at least. I need to know what happens to Morgana. We can get, like, everybody. What happens to everybody? Can we get a synopsis? Immersed in near blinding light, we press onward. It's white in all directions. Not the tiniest speck of color to contaminate it. In fact, the concept of direction doesn't seem to exist in this world. Only pure, never-ending white. Actually, no. That's not right, now that I consider it. I was thinking of white as an absence of color. But white, the color, fills this plane. It's all disappearing. We made the right choice, didn't we? Yes, this is how it was meant to be. You're a rather impressive man, I hope you realize. Not only did you free 3 trapped souls, you also saved your brother. I didn't do any of that alone. Without help, I doubt I would have made it this far. I would have shattered yet again, until nothing was left. And Giselle gave you that strength? She did. So what? You're gonna wait for her here? I am. In that condition? I won't let myself disappear before she's made it back. Do you remember the warning I gave you in the mansion, about how if a soul is damaged and destroyed, it's wholly and utterly erased from existence? Never to return in any shape or form. If you lose much more blood, that is what will happen to you. You'll be erased forever. Don't worry, I won't let that happen. You push yourself too hard, Michel. I feel like you're hurt in some way almost every time I see you, though I suppose about half of that would be my doing. You may have caused me some pain, but I also wouldn't be here without you. What? I mean it. If you say so. Besides, I've practically only ever seen you hurt, too. I suppose so. Whatever form your soul may assume in your next life, I'll be praying there's far less pain in it for you. This is why I'll never get along with you, always concerned about others. Can I ask you something? If you were to be born again, would you want it to be in a fully male body? That's what I've always wanted, so yes, I would. In your next life, if you have one, do you want to see Giselle again? Absolutely, I do. What if you could only have one or the other? I mean, I know which one he would choose, come on. Which would you choose? Do you even need to ask? No, I suppose not. You know, I'm neither a witch nor a saint. Just an ordinary, powerless soul now. So my wishes aren't likely to cause any more miracles. But I think I'll wish for something anyway. For what? Not telling. Oh, girl, you gotta learn to smile a little bit better. Even your smiles that seem to be, like, genuine, they look like they're sinister. Well, I'll be off then. Alright. I didn't think it would be disappear until you came back, and I'm wishing with all my might for my body to hold out. But it doesn't seem to be working very well. Don't be doing like some, like Romeo and Juliet stuff where it's just like, he dies just as she gets there. I guess that's not really Romeo and Juliet, but it's just like, I don't need that sadness. I don't need like him to not make it and then she shows up and he's already gone. I'm coming to realize as I grow weaker that the will of one man is nothing in the face of the will of the universe. Where are you, Giselle? I can't have it end like this. No way. No, they have to be reunited. This would just be like such a blue ball ending that like he does all this for everybody else and he doesn't even get his ending with Giselle. A chance to like be with his brothers again either if he's a soul who will just like disappear and like cannot come back in any way. Maybe that wish, maybe Morgana's wish will come true. Hopefully. Oh, Giselle, Michel. It's been so long since we've seen her. Finally, I finally found you. I'm sorry it took so long. Don't worry, Michel. I know that's you. I'll always be able to recognize you, no matter what. You don't have to be afraid. I wouldn't have made it out if it weren't for you, Michel. A ray of light reached deep into the darkness, all the way down to where I was lost. It was a light more radiant than anything I've ever seen, so much so I couldn't hold back my tears. You fought so very, very hard. You broke the mansion's curse, released it from the darkness. I was right about you. You are strong. Immeasurably so. Can you hear me there, Michel? I'm sorry for keeping you waiting so long. For letting you deteriorate like this. But thank you. Thank you for waiting. Now it is time for us to return. Back to our rightful places. So please, Michel, don't disappear on me. Don't let your soul's flame be extinguished. I beg you, keep holding on. There's still so much I need to tell you. I want to hear your voice. I want to feel your arms around me once more. I don't care when. As long as I can have that someday. So that means I need you to not disappear on me. Michel. Michel. Like, they just keep missing each other. Ah. So is he just gonna be like a spirit without a body, just like she was with him when he was in that world where she was in his head? I believe in you, Michel. I believe you're still there, that you're still holding on. So I ask that one day you'll come and take my hand again. It's just so tragic, like they've been only together for like a little bit of time and they just keep seeming to just miss each other. No! Ah! That's it? No. There must be more. Okay. Oh, this is very, like, Umineko. Michel Bullinger, age of death, 27. Giselle, age of death, 21. Morgana, age of death, 16. I'm hoping there's, like, some post stuff here. Jacobo Berzati, age of death, 26 and 27. Yukimasa, the swordsman, age of death, 25. Mel Rhodes, age of death, 17 and 24. So that's obviously, like, there are multiple lives. Oh, 26 and 67, Jacobo. I don't know what I think I read it as 27. That's right. The first, like, in his other world, he lived to, like, an old age and then died by himself. Maria Campanella, age of death, 24. Paulina Sama, age of death, 22. Nellie Rhodes, age of death, 14 and 18. D, age of death, 37. So, like, we don't know what actually happened to them. George, age of death, 42. I guess back in the day, the, you know, they didn't live quite as long. Even George, you know, is like a, you know, D being a knight, I could assume he would die at, like, an early age, because he's in battle, but George, like, even as kind of like a, an artist, you know, they didn't have long lives back then. Okay, come on. Give me some post-credit stuff. I need to see them together. It's given the hope that they'll be together. Oh, we are getting some stuff, but what is this? This seems very modern times. Flaxen-haired boy. Hello, anybody in there? Oh my gosh. So this is like he's been reborn in another life. Class is about to start, and last I checked, the teacher never came in through the window. Oh, right, just a second. You've been doing that a lot lately, just staring out the window. You watching for something or just spacing out? There's this girl who's usually out there around this time every day. Right over there. See her? Oh, that one? It looks like she goes to the junior high a few streets down. That's what I thought. But look at her hair. That flaxen color. It's almost the exact same color as mine. Can't get her out of my mind. Oh, really? Oh, please don't tell that, like, Nellie has been reborn as, like, another girl who's not related to him but has the same hair. If you're that interested, why not go have a chat sometime? I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Obviously, you gotta go with the old classic. Hey, baby, want to get some ice cream and hang out? That sounds like a great way to get slapped. I'm not trying to pick her up. Or maybe he just, like, feels a connection to her because maybe she's, like, his sister in a past life, but, like, in this world he doesn't have a sister, he doesn't know her, so maybe he feels that connection. You're lying to yourself, man. No, I don't know, like, I'm curious, that's all. And I'm curious what makes your head work, because it sure ain't what everyone else's runs on. Now get moving, it's almost time for class. Oh, wait, I'm coming. Wonder what her name is. Flaxen-haired girl. Hey, did you hear about the new ice cream shop that just opened up down by the bus stop? I did. And I hear their mint is super good, too. Ah, now I want to try it. What do you say? Do you want to go check it out? Let's go. Get some of that mint with a big pile of chocolate chips on top. Oh, I know. I'll get a double scoop. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna get a double too. I bet the line's going to be crazy. We better get going or... Oh. What is it? There's a cute boy who goes to that school there, and I think we just locked eyes for a second. Oh? What's he look like? Oh no. Are they just doomed to repeat themselves again? I mean, at least they're not related in this world. A prince. A prince? Seriously? Don't you be making fun of princes now. You're not 9, you're 14, and you still haven't grown out of your fairy tale phase? Like, oh my god. Just you wait. One of these days, I'll meet a real prince, and then you won't be laughing anymore. Like you'd ever be able to get a real prince's attention. Hey, that's not very nice. Jerk, blockhead, meanie. Come on, let's get going. Oh, fine. I'll show you one day. That is my prince. So I guess we're gonna get, okay, we couldn't be luckier to have a talented engineer like yourself assigned to our branch. Black-haired man, that's gotta be Yukimasa. You give me too much credit, sir. You don't give yourself enough credit. I've seen your record, and you come highly recommended from HQ. Got high hopes for you. The higher your hopes, the greater the fallout when I make a mistake, which frightens me. What you call a mistake is what we generally refer to as a great accomplishment. I don't think I've ever met anyone as close to the perfect human being as you. I'm far, far from perfect. You Japanese really are a humble lot, aren't you? Ah, what is it? I thought I just saw a woman I recognized. Oh, we get a lot of tourists from your parts of the world around here. She's not Japanese. No, I must be imagining it. This is my first time in France, after all. So they're all connected in this world. They're all... yeah, that's gotta be Pauline. The art museum. Shopping. How can you take a vacation to France and not want to see the art? We were there all day yesterday, and you agreed before we left today would be a shopping day. That was before I realized just how big it was, just how many beautiful paintings they had on display. There's no way one day is enough to see it all. One whole day of my vacation bored out of my skull. Not like you can eat the stuff, so what good is it anyway? Please? How about this? We go to a different museum, just no art this time. Oh? What kind of museum if you don't want me to look at art? A torture museum. I'm on the... yes. Yes, I like this blonde hair woman. I like her. I was like, yes, either shopping. There are museums out there that focus completely just on like torture devices of like the past. I think I hate you. Lighten up. You telling me you don't want to see a century of torture devices from all around the world? I'm on the blonde hair woman's side. Absolutely not. Then we stick to the plan and go shopping. Oh, have it your way. But you didn't have to be so... Watch out, behind you. What? Ah! God damn, that hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. Learn to watch where you're walking, why don't you? And if you're so desperate to make a damn ruckus, go find a cafe somewhere out of the way. And then they're going to go to the cafe where Yukimasa is at, isn't it? Well, excuse me. I apologized, didn't I? No need to be such a dickwad. Have you ever heard of talking, or is yelling the only thing you're capable of? This is why I can't stand tourists. Have some damn consideration for the people who aren't just here to fool around. For the love of God. The hell has got your panties in a... And he's gone. That sure was something. Something is right. An insufferable asshole, more like that's... I wonder if that was Jacobo. Burn in hell, motherfucker. Oh, the blonde hair one. That's gotta be... Now that I realize it, that's gotta be Maria, isn't it? Like, it's just that... Without even seeing her or her name, I'm just like, that sounds like her. That said, and right, that makes sense, right? Pauline and Maria were at least acquaintances, if not friends. That said, I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Nah, it's just your imagination. I just love that they're all, like, kind of colliding with each other in one moment in time. Wavy-haired man, you there, the paper. Good lord, the stock market is a damn mess. What a nightmare. Tourists don't know how to shut up. The French are a bunch of stuck-up snobs. The pizza's awful. Nobody knows how to make spaghetti. Yep, that's gotta be Jacobo. Maybe I should just pack up my bags and forget it all. What the hell is this? An article about the human voice? Scientists are studying the effect certain frequencies in the human voice have on the brain. And we know that the voice, you know, Morgana's voice, he's gonna encounter Morgana in this world, right? Keep this mumbo jumbo out of the paper, my god. Save it for some paranormal or science magazine. Back to the stocks page. Ah, damn it, the wind got my hat. What is wrong with today? I believe this is yours. Ah, yeah, thank you. Pleasure is mine. Have a nice... Hold on a second. Yes? First off, before I say anything, I am not trying to hit on you. Don't get the wrong idea. Now, have we met before? We have, yes. When and where? A long, long time ago. Much too long for you to remember. Excuse me? Our paths crossed in a mansion many, many years ago. I'm glad to see you haven't changed a bit. I'm not particularly in the mood for jokes and supernatural nonsense today. I am quite serious. One more question. Do we have any shared acquaintances? We do, yes. Though I could not say whether she's here or not. Hopefully you have the chance to cross paths with her. I too am looking for someone. Oh no, that's Giselle. That's gotta be Giselle, right? Have a good day, sir. Yeah, goodbye. There are memories. Memories ingrained in my soul. Over the years, they've grown gradually more distinct. And now, at the age of 21, I remember everything. Were I to tell this to anyone, they would think me mad, so I've kept it to myself my whole life. I remember many ages ago, there was a mansion. There I met and lost someone dear to me. There I waited for him to return. I remember all the centuries I spent waiting, and I remember he almost lost his soul trying to save me. I am once again waiting for him. I'm making my way to where that mansion once stood, a single red rose in hand, a rose containing all my hopes, my dreams, my love, a prayer that it might one day reach you. Roses make wonderful gifts after all. I probably sound like I'm out of my mind, waiting for a man who exists only in my memories, a man who in my 21 years of life I have never once even caught a glimpse of. But that doesn't matter, because I know how much he means to me. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I will wait. I will trust the memories burned into my soul. I don't know when he'll show up, or if he even will. Maybe we'll never meet in this life. Maybe I'll wait until I've grown old and died. But should that happen, I'll continue waiting for you in my next life, and the one after that if I have to. I'll always be waiting, no matter how long it may take, how great the obstacles that stand in my way, or what form you may assume. So that's it? I'm not gonna get any closure? I'll wait as long as it takes. Another 100, another 1,000 years. So just promise me you'll come back for me. Michel. No! Another fake out. I know that there was like people have told me that there's like, I don't know if it's a spin-off of this game. I don't think it's a sequel, but it's just so sad that they just keep missing each other. But overall, I mean, what can I say about this? It was an amazing game. And you guys were so right about it, about how it, like, the story is just chef's kiss. It's definitely one of the, I feel like, the better visual novels I played, and it's so different, you know, it's not like a typical, like, anime visual novel. Not that there's anything wrong with that, obviously, I love those, but this, I just like the art style was so different, the story, the themes they dealt with in, like, a very mature, very interesting way, and it was, like, unlike any story I've ever seen before, in a game or otherwise, so thank you guys for recommending to me. I know there have been people who've been asking me to play this for years, and I'm sorry it took so long. But And I have to say, Michel and Giselle, probably one of the best couples I've ever seen in any form of media. I love them. And yeah, I just like that it dealt with heavy topics and it didn't like... It let the characters be three-dimensional. It let them be just people. Like, they weren't necessarily like... They weren't saints. They weren't demons. They were just like people with flaws. And you could kind of like... You could understand... Even if you didn't agree with like their actions, you could understand why they did the things that they did. And you could kind of understand even if, like, you know, you don't... Like I said, you don't agree with it. I just wish they could have... I just wish we could have gotten that, like, you know, them being together again, you know? It's just like, it's such a bummer that I couldn't have that happen at least, but there's, like, the openness that it could. But, you know, with Michel's spirit being gone, it was like Morgana said, you know, once the spirit is gone, there's no coming back from it. But I was hoping maybe for some miracle. Maybe there'll be something after this. Hopefully? Yes? Maybe? Okay. I think that's it. Darn. Alright. I still liked it all the same. I guess I'm just a hopeless romantic like that. I was just like, I didn't want it to leave on just such a... Will it happen? Won't it happen? I just wanted, like, the closure, I guess. Oh, there is something. There's something. Okay, don't worry. You don't have to wait any longer. We are? Are we gonna get them reuniting? Oh my goodness. Giselle, yay! Oh my goodness, he came back. I'm here for you. Maybe not, like, maybe not his body, but maybe even just his soul, his spirit is there. Morgana and Michel's wish came true. Yay! I'm so happy. This music, this particular song, always gets me. Oh my gosh, he came, like, his body, he has a body, he came back. Oh. There are memories ingrained in my soul. I remember there once stood a mansion here, in which many tragedies took place, in which great pain was suffered. Much of what happened in those walls was unspeakable, but they are events I should never have forgotten, because amidst all the misfortune, I attained something irreplaceable. Giselle, there's so much I have to say, so much I want you to know, but I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to get to all that. So for the time being, allow me to say this. I love you, Giselle. Your smile is the light of my life. I want to spend my days with you. I hope they have all the time in the world now. They deserve it, damn it. They've been away apart from each other for so long, with that smile always at my side. And nothing to get in our way. Oh man, all the work they've put in, they deserve this. Oh, yay! Ending 8. I'm guessing I got the good ending right off the bat. I know you guys would probably want me to go back and do like all the other endings. I just... I don't know if I've got time to do that. And after getting the good ending right off the end, I don't think I could go back and get the bad endings. I couldn't. My heart couldn't take it. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I ask of thee, O Father, to bestow upon their souls thy blessing. Is that Morgana? I was wondering too, maybe if Morgana would come back in that world and see everybody. Oh! Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, it's like the white hair girl said, right? Like Morgana could come back as a what's the word they get? Like a butterfly or a flower. And considering that the butterflies were there with with Giselle and Michel and here there, I think that's what she did. She became a butterfly. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Ooh, I'm so glad. I was happy with it even without that last bit, but that just really like, ooh, that was just like tied the bow on and just made it that much better. We have anything here? Take a peek behind the curtain, listen to the game's music. Okay, well this backstage thing, I guess we're not quite done yet. So I will maybe have that as a bonus episode. I'm not sure how long or what that is, but that's it for the main story, I guess. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed at least the main story of the House in Fata Morgana. I loved it. Sad it took me this long to get to it, but I'm glad I finally did, because you guys almost never steer me wrong when it comes to recommending these visual novels. I've liked pretty much all of the ones I've had, and this one was something special. I think this one's going to stick with me for a while, so yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. Thank you for sticking with me for this whole playthrough. I hope you enjoyed watching me react to it as much as I did playing it, or for those of you who hadn't, read it for a while, I hope it was nice to come back to it. So I will go ahead and I'll check out this backstage thing in the next episode, maybe try and make it one episode. I assume it's probably not going to be too long. But yeah, we will wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. And I will also be announcing in that next episode what my next playthrough is going to be. So if you want to know what my next Let's Play after this is, stay tuned for that episode where I will be revealing that. So I'll let you guys go. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye.
Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Kiori Makoto, Revealing Storm, Jared Fan, Tequila Mockingbird, Izzy Ibo, Joel Ustman, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, Icognito, Locus Carolus, and Wu Sing Chrysalis.